We are starting chapter 3, Matter and Energy. In this chapter, we will learn about types of matter, how it undergoes changes, what is energy, what is law of conservation of energy, and many examples that we will learn. So let's define matter. Matter is any substance that has mass and it occupies volume. Matter exists in 3 states, physical states: solid, liquid, and gas. Let's talk about solid state. In a solid, particles of matter are tightly close to each other. When they tightly close to each other and in organized fashion, solid has a definite and fixed shape. You cannot compress solid, and it also has definite volume. Solid has least energy of 3 states of matter. Now let's talk about liquid state. In a liquid, particles of matter are loosely packed and are free to move past each other, past one another. And the liquid has an indefinite shape and assumed shape of their container. Liquid cannot be compressed and have definite volume. Liquid have less energy than gases but more energy than solids. Now let's talk about gaseous states. In a gas, particles of matter are far apart and uniformly distributed throughout the container. Gases have an indefinite shape and assume the shape of their container. Gases can be compressible and have indefinite volume. Gases have the most energy of 3 states of matter. So you can see here, in terms of shape, volume and compressibility, solid is fixed shape, fixed volume, and negligible compressible. You can see molecules in a solid. For example, this is ice. Now let's talk about liquid. Shape is variable. If you fill it in a glass, then it takes the shapes of the glass. If you fill it in a container, it takes the shapes of the container. So shape is variable. Volume is fixed. Yes, you can have 5 liter of volume and it will not be changed. And compressibility. You cannot compress too much, so compressibility is negligible. You can see water molecules. In this water molecules, you can see all those things, all those ones they can slide past each other, but they are not tightly packed, just like solid. In gaseous state, shape is variable, volume is variable, and you can compress it. You can compress gas. You can see it here, steam. And you can see there are larger gap between those molecules. That means you can compress it. Now we are going to talk about changes in those states, solid, liquid, and gas. So let's talk about water that exists as a solid below 0 degrees Celsius, as a liquid between 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius, and a gas above 100 degrees Celsius. Substance can change physical state as temperature changes. So temperature affects on physical states. When solid changes to a liquid, the phase change is called melting. A substance melts as temperature increases. When liquid changes to a solid, the phase change is called freezing. A substance freezes as the temperature decreases. You can see when liquid changes to a gas change is called vaporization. A substance vaporizes as the liquid increases, the temperature increases. When a gas changes to a liquid, the phase change is called condensing, and the substance condenses as temperature decreases. When you convert from solid to gas phase, and when solid to gas phase directly without going into liquid phase, that process is called sublimation. During this sublimation, temperature increases. When gas changes directly to a solid, the phase change is called deposition, and the substance undergoes deposition as temperature decreases. So you can see this picture: ice, water and water vapor. When solid ice turns to liquid, it melts, and liquid water, when it vaporizes, it turns into steam. When you condense steam, it converts into water, liquid, and then when you freeze it, it becomes solid, which is ice. And you can see this arrow: from solid to gas is called sublimation, and from gas to solid is deposition. So we talk about phase change, matter, 3 types of matter, and states changes. We'll talk about classification of matter in next slide.